My name is Mohammad Abdulmanan, and I'm going to explain to you guys the interactive quiz game that I created using JavaScript. So here, as you can see in my code, and first we go in the HTML container. We have this class and ID, questions, answer buttons, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna go to JavaScript because that's what I'm going to explain to you guys. On my data, I create a data and I store these. I have these questions, which is an array, and then these questions, let's say in index 1, we always start from 0 if it's array, and then this index, we have this index 0, we have this question, options, and correct properties. And then in these questions, we have the following, and then these options is an array. So as you can see here, we display the questions and then the options. So the purpose of this correct is comparing it later on. I'm going to explain to you using the conditions. And then here, why it's 0, it's human, because the correct answer is 0. It's human. That's the correct answer. So example of this. So if I make the correct answer, it's incorrect answer, it's human. I'm going to explain to you, and so on and so forth in the questions. So here, questions, creating an element by ID. I have these 4 variables I created, question element, and then another one which is my score. It always starts from 0, even the question index. The question index, the purpose of doing that is of this. We're getting the index of our questions, index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 7 or 6. So here I create a functions called start, because starting from the game, this will display starting from the game. So here, as you can see, I have 2 variables. I include 2 variables. My score, we all start from 0, and then the questions always start from 0. So here are our questions. Yep, it's always start from 0. Why? Because our question index 0 will display this. So here, the next button, it's not displayed here because it's none. Later on, I'm gonna explain to you. And then the purpose of this, display the score. And then here, the dollar, like assigning. In Python, they call it f string. And then these functions, later on I'm going to explain this. Function display, I create the functions. Here, my questions, I create a variable called my questions, and then this data, remember the data, the questions, and then the question index always start from 0. So I'm going to displaying it. The purpose of this, displaying our question and options. So here, questions, our question elements, and then the inner HTML, my questions, and then question property. That's the question property. And then same thing with the options, and then using the loop, we have 2 parameter. And then the purpose of this is I create a button element, a button for this, because in our HTML it's a div. So right, it's a div. So I create an element, a button for options, and then yep, I display our answer. To display our answer, and then once you click that button, it's like our index. So what button or index that you select, and then this answer button, it's append child, it will display here in HTML. So function reset, I didn't explain later. The function reset, the purpose of that is the next button will not display, and then the purpose of this, that in our if I comment this, if I comment, excuse me, it will display our options. Why? Because in my HTML I wrote options right here. So that's the purpose of that. I want to hide that button or div button or container, I mean. So yep, and then after that, the purpose of this function select, I create a functions, and then with a parameter called your answer. So here, correct answer using calling the correct property, using the data in the quotient index. So here we have these conditions comparing whether it's true or false, if your answer is true or not. So if your answer is true, then it will run this. So you score, like example of this, my answer is true, my answer is true, and then my score will add to 1, and then display. And then here the correct is for adding my editing, or like for styling my correct, which is it will color into green. I change the color to background to green. So else, if your answer is wrong, then I display the color red, which is the background. And then the purpose of this, the query selector loop, our button will be disabled right here. Once you're selected, when you select the button, it all disabled. You can't press anything. You can't change your answer. So here the purpose of this, it compare your correct answer, or the correct answer that you, let's say example of this, I'm an alien, so it shows the correct answer, and you can't press it. It shows the correct answer, but you can't press it. So here the next button, display the button right here. So function next, the purpose of this is once you're done with this first questions, it will increment. Let's say, yeah, go to the next questions again. Okay, index 1, you're in the index 1. And then if questions, here the purpose of this is if question is less than data length, which is 7, it still display our questions and answers. Else it will reach to our final later on. I'll show you example. Let me reach the final. So here we reach the final. So our question index is equal to data length, which is 7. It reached the limit of our data length. So yeah, it displayed the final. So here's the final functions. So I include the reset. So once we are done, then our score will be 0, but it will display our final score once you're done. But the purpose of this is for like once you reset, like once you're done playing. Like if you're done playing, you want to play again. So here it shows the final score, as you can see. So we have these conditions. If your score is like perfect or equal to data length, which is 7, it displayed a great job. But here our score is 2 out of 7, so it display you can do better. Yep. And then display the button here, and then yeah, button play again. So here's the next button, add event lister. So once you click this button, we have these functions. So if our question index is less than length, we still gonna play. We're still gonna play, and then this next will run again, like the next questions again. And then here the else, the purpose of this, once we're done, then you want to play again. Let's say this, I press the play again, we're gonna go to our starting point. So yeah, that's the purpose of our that's the explanation of my code using JavaScript in my quiz game. My name is Mohammad Abdulmanan, and thank you for listening.